What's up, guys? It's Intelitech Studios here, and this is the third DC07 that is currently in my possession, although this one is not mine. This one I am fixing for someone. So while this is a vacuum acquisition video, this is not a permanent acquisition. This is not part of my collection. This does not belong to me. This is a Dyson DC07 all floors, as you can tell. It's got a little bit of a crack up here, just like my Reach had. This is an early version of a DC07 all floors. I've never seen one of these older ones in person, but you can tell it's an older one because it doesn't say all floors on it. It says, I mean, technically, can I even call this an all floors? Because it doesn't say all floors on it. It says DC07 HEPA+Bactisafe. Lifetime clog-free HEPA filters. I'm pretty sure the HEPA filter probably will need replacing on this. But, so I already did kind of test it out a little bit before this video. The brush roll is good. It appears to spin just fine. When I put a bit of resistance on it, it still has good torque on it, so I don't think I'll need to replace the clutch. The pre-motor filter, again, this is an early Dyson. I've yet to see one of these early Dysons before today. Isn't too bad, just needs a good wash, as does the filter casing. And obviously the cyclone assembly doesn't have any cracks on it, but it's one of the older models where it doesn't have that buffer. It just has this really thin handle on it. And later all floors models had a clear lid. This has a yellow lid. So I haven't had one of these earlier all floors models. I believe this is still technically considered an all floors variant. And of course, this is the older style where the picture is down here instead of up here on the newer 07s. But this is a legacy 07. It also has with it, it has the dusting brush and it has the crevice tool. So they're missing the stair tool. It has the other two. Whenever he gave it to me, the brush was attached to the handle and was, you can see the bristles are all matted down. But the wand cap is still good. And the cord hook has that same crack on it that my Reach had, but it does still hold just fine. I did check this hose. Doesn't have any splits in it. This has the older style U-bend assembly, which looks just like the U-bend assembly on a DC04. So that's really interesting, how it has that extra little part that sticks out, just like on a DC04. I didn't even realize until very recently that the early 07s also had this, even the American ones. But yeah, so this has that extra little catch on it, with that extra little piece that sticks out, so it's a little bit easier to eject the U-bend assembly. And I don't see any clogs in the U-bend. So it seems that this whole section along the back is fine. And he said that it was having issues with suction, although, I mean, it seems fine to me. No clogs in that port. Doesn't appear to be any clogs in here, but I'll have to double check that. There is some hair down here that's like stuck in the changeover valve. One thing he did say, and I think this is probably the cause of the loss of suction. This thing has got scratches all over it. I'll have to clean this up. And the brush roll, also this is one where it actually advertises automatic carpet height adjustment, so another sign this is an early model. It looks like the HEPA filter may have been replaced before, because this catch looks like it was messed with. We can see the lower hose is actually split down here. It's really hard to see, but oh, there it is. You can see it's kind of split and coming off. I think that's the root of the suction not working right. So I'll need to probably replace that lower hose, although I haven't gotten, maybe it's just not connected properly. But the interesting thing is that the lower hose does seem to be doing its job, because the automatic carpet height adjustment does appear to be working properly, where it's actually sticking it to the floor. A lot of times when those hoses fail, the springiness will go down in them, and then the head will not be attached to the floor properly, and you'll have to like push it down right here. This doesn't have that problem. So this has aged really well for a DC07 functionality wise. And but yeah, So let's real quick check out, and you see the bin is full of stuff. There's a Dyson sticker on the side. I didn't know they put that. Oh, I see. That's for the ratchet noise. And we can see, wow, this is a really early DC07. This was manufactured on the 32nd week of 2002. 2002. Wow. It's still made in Malaysia, though. I don't believe there's any US Dyson that was made in the UK. I believe that they moved the plant to Malaysia before they started selling Dysons here in the States. Some of the Dyson collectors, especially the British ones, can probably correct me if I'm wrong on that. But that's my impression. So this is still made in Malaysia. But it is a very, very early 07. And it's very nice to see that it's still working. Well, I guess I spoiled it, didn't I? I guess we'll run this real quick and you can see how it sounds. You can hear that wind down, how weird that sounds. Although, again, yeah, so that there's no clogs in this ductwork because otherwise there wouldn't be. There's still very strong suction. Now that motor wind down is really weird, but if we take off the bin and try it, it sounds pretty normal. Has a little bit of a weird tint to it. But when I take out the filter, it has a little bit of a whine, but it still sounds perfectly fine. There's not anything outwardly wrong with it. It'll probably needs a new HEPA filter. I would guess that this thing is straining a little bit because of that HEPA filter. So this definitely probably needs a new HEPA filter. And I believe that could be a cause of the motor straining. So this also goes in really easily. On some newer 07s, in my experience, this is like really hard to put in correctly. This just goes in super easily. I guess. Yeah, they clearly took care of the filter because obviously there's no way that after 18 years that this thing wasn't washed a bunch of times. But yeah, obviously it needs a dust down. It's quite dusty. Obviously this needs to be emptied and some other work done on it. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing pretty much today. I did put the shark back together, but I won't do a demo on that just yet. I'll go ahead and fix this first. Maybe I'll do a demo on this just to show the guy that it's working and everything. I'm not sure how much he's worried about this broken piece of plastic here, because he didn't mention it, but I'll still ask him if he wants me to buy a replacement handle. But yeah, so that's the Dyson DC07 HEPA+Bactisafe. I mean, can I call this all floors? Because it doesn't say. Also, another thing I forgot to mention is that a lot of the wording is different. Obviously, there's that HEPA+Bactisafe. Instead of it saying Asthma and Allergy Foundation certified, it says lifetime clog-free HEPA filters. Actually, here, there we go. That works. And so it says no extra costs, approved for allergy sufferers, and no loss of suction. Plus Bactisafe retains and kills bacteria on contact. I don't know if newer Dysons have Bactisafe and they just don't advertise it, or what? But this is the first I've heard of that. Or maybe it was bullcrap and they had to remove it, I don't know. But we'll see. So I guess I can't call this DC07 all floors. This is DC07 HEPA+Bactisafe. It doesn't say all floors anywhere on the machine. And of course, Rudate Cyclone technology. And instead of it saying the first vacuum cleaner doesn't lose suction, which is what this usually says, it says Dyson invented Cyclone technology, the vacuum cleaner that doesn't lose suction. So that's interesting. I kind of want to find another one of these to keep because while I don't like the yellow color as much, this being a really early 07 is really fascinating. So apparently there's like 4 or 5 different versions of the 07. This is like the earliest one. My low reach is like the second version because it has the different U-bend assembly and some of the different writing on it. Then there's like the third version, which would be close to like what my mom had, which was her DC07 all floors. And then there's the DC07 original that I have. That's probably like the 4th version. And then there's like the 5th version that was like where the gray was like a darker gray color to match like the 24s and 25s. Or the well, not really, more so the 17s and 18s. So yeah, this machine just would not die. And these things are still running. These 07s, like, say what you will about Dysons, but I've never seen a shark last this long. I'm just saying. And, you know, or definitely like a Bissell of this age. I know, like, I had the Power Track, the CleanView Power Track a while ago. Man, if I still had that, that would be a really interesting comparison, but unfortunately I don't have that anymore since they were both 2002. Although my 3522-R is 2002. I don't know. But yeah, and thankfully there's nothing really broken. Oh, that was weird. So, like, you have to, like, see how that's, like, not lined up? You have to, like, click it. So that's really weird. Huh. Well, it still seems to hold just fine. But yeah, so I'm going to be cleaning this up today. Getting it all nice and pretty. It's in good condition. There's a bunch of scratches on the front of it, but the paint marks on the side I can clean off and make it look nice. But yeah, so that's interesting. So this is a vacuum I'll be working on, the DC07 HEPA+Bactisafe. And yeah, it was made, what week did I say it was? Whatever, 2002. But yeah, so that's really crazy. So that's my newest Dyson, although again, it's not mine, but it's the newest Dyson that I currently have in my possession. And I'll be repairing it and giving it back to the guy. So that's cool. And hopefully he appreciates it. You know, it's really nice to keep these older Dysons up and running because these are still really nice machines. Yeah, they don't clean the best, but honestly, compared to the newer crap that's on the market, these things are, you know what they say, they don't make them like they used to. And, yeah. But the 07s and the 14s are pretty much the sweet spot as far as the legacy Dysons, because the 01s, the 04s, from what I understand, they're a lot like the Phantoms, where they had really weak suction, and it was just kind of the dual cyclonic technology, but this kind of made it pretty good. I hope that, because you generally need like a special tool, I hope I can disassemble this thing, and because I can't imagine, there's probably so much dirt caked in this Cyclone. It's got to be crazy. But yeah. So anyway, guys, this is Intelitech Studios with my acquisition of this DC07 HEPA+Bactisafe that I'm fixing for a customer. And I will see you guys in the next video. And I hope you guys have a good one. Peace.